what's up everybody? This is NSFW, AdminTuning. Tonight we're going to be doing a install video for updating your gap insurance policy. We have a basic ass G37 here. It's actually mine, but we're going to be installing the AdminTuning 3-inch intakes. This set actually was powder coated a nice illusion Malbec color. One of my customers put me onto this. I actually kept the front pipes just bare aluminum. I didn't match them because nobody's going to see it, and we use that powder for the pour to benefit the knee. But we're going to go through the basics of taking the bumper off, opening up the core support, deleting the PCV system, and then installing the intakes, bolting everything up. I'm going to flash the car for the larger maps and be on our way. Alright, so we're just going to start with the basic stuff. Pulling the factory air boxes off, disconnecting the factory MAVs, and then unhooking the factory PCV system. The VHR has two PCV valves, so we're going to yank both of them with just pliers, pull them off, cap the intake manifold. We'll also be hooking up a catch can on this. So we'll start with that, and then we'll continue on to pulling the bumper off. Okay, so we've got the air boxes off, as you can see, and the stock accordion tubing, and the MAP sensors are unhooked. So this is a part that's kind of maybe a little confusing for some people because the intakes don't have the PCV cocksucker ports on them. But all we need to do on the manifold here is we're going to be removing these and capping the manifold off. Now, even though you're venting the valve covers to atmosphere, this is not going to cause a vacuum leak, which is a pretty common misconception, but that's for another video. We're going to do that, and we're going to remove any of the unnecessary rubber hose, and then we're going to move this wiring harness as well. This has to be relocated when you run the 3-inch intakes, and then we'll proceed with taking the bumper off and doing the core support modifications. Okay, so we got the PCV stuff kind of out of the way right now. We're going to take a little bit of a sidestep. We're going to take the bumper off. Now, if your G37 or G35 HR is just a regular car, hasn't been molested in any way, you probably have an under tray, so beware of the bolts that go underneath here, underneath the car. Mine's kind of low, so my under tray is gone. So all I need to do is pop these clips off the top, and then 2 bolts on each side, take the bumper off, unplug the fog lights, and that'll get us to the next step. We're just going to start by popping these off here, each one. Be careful not to break them because I don't have any extras, but I'm sure your dealer will have some if you fuck them up. So we'll get started with that and keep moving. Alright, cool. We got the bumper off finally. So 2 things with the 3-inch intakes. Get the Dremel the back of the grill on this side and this side right here to clear the 3-inch tubes. And then you're going to have to Dremel out the nostrils over here. There's a plastic section you can take out right here and right here. There's bolts and there's mounting clips there. And then when you're hogging this side out, just be aware of the AC lines. Basic shit. We're going to go ahead and do that and then proceed with the install and actually start bolting some of this stuff up. Okay, so we got the bumper off. We're going to yank the PCV valves. Excuse my dirty engine bay, but the VHR's got a PCV valve, one on each side, just like that. One on the opposite side. We're going to pull them out. We're actually going to put the AdminTuning PCV adapters, the -8s, because we're going to be hooking up a catch can on this car, as opposed to open venting the PCV system. So we got one of the AdminTuning catch cans going in as well. We're just going to prepare the valve covers before we put the intake tubes in. So we'll start with that and keep going. Okay, so we got the EPS tuning nipples installed on both sides. And even if you don't get a catch can set up, remember to go to EPS Tuning for their PCV delete kit. It's a really simple kit for these cars as well as all the older VQs. They make a really high quality PCV delete solution, so definitely check them out. Just facebook.com/EPSTuningTX. Okay, so we got this side hogged out already. I'm going to show you kind of what we're looking for. We didn't have to cut it up too much, but since I use a flexible coupler with these intakes, you just want it so it slides in with minimal pinching. wants to be a little hoe now because the camera's rolling. So, but just something like that to give you as close to the full diameter as possible. I still am going to smooth it out on the top a little bit. It's looking a little rough. Looks like I cut it with my teeth. So, yeah, we'll continue with that, and then I'll show you guys the next side. Okay, so we got this side completely shaped out. You can see I already kind of moved the harness out of the way here. Definitely find a permanent place to mount it if you've got headers on your car where the heat shield can't really protect it. The strategy for putting these on and actually having them fit, they're only really going to go in one way. So what I would suggest, push that front coupler out more a little bit, line up your throttle body coupler, slide these in like this, and then push the front coupler to meet up with the MAF tube. The trap gods are going to be mad at me because I got fingerprints all over. Freshly powder coated tube. But fuck it, we're out here anyways. So, pretty simple once you actually do it in the right order. Obviously, if you guys have fitment issues or anything like that, let me know. We have a pretty nice jig for these, but obviously if there's anything that comes up, just hit me up and we'll figure it out. Done modifying the driver's side. The driver's side is going to have a little bit more pinch to it, but from what I've seen, it hasn't really affected anything horsepower wise. So just like last time, slide this in first, and you probably learn a couple different cuss words doing this part. So I just just kind of leave it halfway out like that until I get the throttle body coupler on. Come on, so and just slide that on the throttle body. Now, I get this question a lot. Do these intakes make power with stock throttle bodies? Yes, they fucking do. They actually do really well even with stock throttle bodies, even though they're larger diameter than stock intakes. This has been proven not only on the 370s, but the 350Zs and other cars that aren't Nissans, even Maximas. So like, don't trip too much about having a stock throttle bodies. The car that we made 22 wheel horsepower on with these had stock throttle bodies. Had stock everything else too, but stock throttle bodies also. So we're gonna fight with this packaging here for a few more days. Hopefully I'll get this shit out by the time I gotta go to work in the morning.
Cut to the advertisement.
Yeah, right. So this has been brought to you by Gerson Flores, aka G Cuts A35. Follow him on Instagram. If you can't find him, just look for
the slowest 7-gen in the world.
Slowest CVT Maxima ever. And we'll look for pictures of his car on my Instagram and just follow him. Good dude, worked with him on a lot of stuff. So another thing also with how these intakes fit, just you're gonna want to just clock them on this side a little bit more because of how the tube is kind of getting pinched or kind of angled different. And it would be helpful also to push the rubber coupler in, like I explained on the other side of the car. Push it in as far as possible before actually getting the tube lined up. And that'll help everything sit properly. It'll help you especially when getting the front pipes lined up, because with the way the front pipes come in on the grill, you want them pushed in as far as possible because you don't want the filters to hit the back of the grill. So far the engine bay is coming along pretty well. These condoms out of the way. And let me get the camera real quick. You can see in here, have just a minimal pinching going on inside, but it's not too serious, not too crazy. So like I said, it's not gonna rob your gains. You're still gonna gap everybody else. So, all right, next up. Okay, so we got the front pipes on. Now, everybody that ordered a powder coated intake from me, their front pipes are matched to the color that they picked for the MAF tubes. It's just for me, I didn't really give a shit. So I'm just gonna run the bare ones. We use AM filters on all of them. It's dry, not oiled. It's not foam, it's not trash. Couple things about the next step here. So you can do this in any order, really. I mean, but I'm doing it close to the end today. We're just putting the stock MAF sensors back in. So I get also this question a lot: do you have to run an aftermarket MAF sensor with these? No, use the stock one. No UpRev GT MAF required. It'd probably make your tuner's job harder trying to get that to work. This one's stripped out. So yeah, stock MAF, tuned properly, it'll do its job. We're gonna throw these in. I want to show you guys something when it comes to installing them, just because of the way these flanges are machined. Just sorry for the wait, guys. It's probably gonna be the longest video I'll ever make, so I appreciate you guys sticking through it. Now the flanges look symmetrical, but they're actually unidirectional, so you can't actually mess this up. But just so you guys know, air goes in this way. So the flanges that I use with these are actually the nicest flanges that I could find at the time, and still the nicest flanges out there. It's just a CNC machine flange with a really nice brushed finish and bolts included with it. The fitment is pretty snug on getting them in, so if it kind of like feels like it's getting stuck, just give it like a little finesse, a little gentle wiggle from side to side, and it'll go right in. If you guys have any problems with this, just call me. I know in the past we've had to Dremel out the holes further, but that has been resolved now, thankfully. So I'm just going to slide that bitch in there, just like that. Perfect. I apologize for the dust on all my stock stuff. This is a desert car, but it's better than corrosion and rust everywhere, so that's good. So yeah, just do this on both sides, hook them up, and then we'll kind of get to the last parts of just kind of reassembly and then also the grill modifications. We're ready to put the bumper back on. But first, let's get the grill clearanced. Like I said, we're gonna do it on this side and this side. The easiest way, if your Dremel is a trick-ass, bitch-ass Dremel, is just make cuts right here, and then just use some pliers to bend it out and break it. We're going to try to do that and keep it as clean as possible, but that reduces the amount of work you have to do. Makes it just kind of easier on the installer. So we'll do that, and then we'll throw the bumper back on here in a second. Yep. Okay, so we got one side done here. Pretty easy. Just took a few minutes. Obviously a steady hand is a good idea. This is a little different. When you're dremeling the core support, the debris doesn't fly in your face, but dremeling on the grill, you'll probably get some of it on your face. I'd recommend a pair of OSHA certified fuckboy glasses to protect your eyes while doing this. So we're gonna do the other side, and then we'll proceed to put the bumper on. Okay, so we got both sides done, so we're ready to put the bumper on. Like I said, this is fairly easy, so I'm just gonna walk over here and kind of mock it up, make sure we don't have any fitment issues. You'll notice I don't have any of the clamps on the upper pipes yet. Don't worry about that for right now. I also took my styrofoam crash bar off. These fit with the crash bar on, so you can do it however you want it. For me, it doesn't really matter too much as long as the steel crash bar is in place. So, just going to see how everything lines up here. You might need two people to kind of help out with this part. You can see with a little bit of positive reinforcement, the bumper will go on. Now it takes a little bit more effort to get the middle of it on with the sides pushed out like that, but we'll kind of get everything clipped in together and reassembled here in the next chapter. So.